Well, thank you for coming, everyone. A really exciting day for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Officially, I'm thrilled to announce our newest head coach and general manager, Ryan Dinwiddie. I'm equally excited to announce the promotion of Shawn Burke to Vice President of Football Operations. This is a pivotal time for our franchise. We need to be better. Our city and our fans deserve better. And I believe today is day one of an exciting new future for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Shortly after the season ended, Shawn and I met to begin work on the head coach hiring process. We established priorities in terms of what we were looking for in our next head coach. We also looked at our structure and challenged ourselves to be creative and bold if needed. I want to credit Shawn with going away from that meeting and coming back with a plan that led to today. To be clear, Ryan was plan A. Tuesday and Wednesday, the last couple days, were a whirlwind. But to watch Shawn and Ryan collaborate through the interview process, you could see the partnership forming very quickly. And this was something that we knew would work. Before I pass it on to Shawn and to Ryan, I also want to take a moment for a few acknowledgements. Firstly, I want to thank Mark Gowdy, who's here today, OSEG ownership, Roger Greenberg, John Ruddy, and John Pugh for giving us all the supports we need year in and year out, but to make this all work. I want to acknowledge the Toronto Argonauts for their professionalism throughout this process. And lastly, to our fans, we've heard you. We're intensely committed to winning. The games are played on the field. We'll see what happens. But like I said, today is day one of an exciting new future for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian. I'll be brief. I know you guys want to get the questions, but I'll just echo what Adrian said. In my time here since joining the organization in December 2021, just the commitment of Roger Greenberg, John Ruddy, John Pugh, Mark Gowdy, and Adrian himself to do anything possible to help us be a better organization. And, you know, my biggest job as a guy leading the football operations staff is to try to push us into new levels of making us as successful as possible. And I believe with our announcement today, we're doing that. You'd ask why Ryan? I'll be quick and simple with it. You guys will get into your questions, but simple why? Winner. 3 division championships as a head coach, 2-time Grey Cup champion, coach of the year, 1 in previous stops as assistant coaches. Football mindset. Just spending the last 2 days with him and hearing him talk and competing against him the last few years, both here and previously, and having to go against his offenses and see what they do. His journey, very similar to myself, you know, star quarterback at NCAA, so that's not like me, but journey in the football realm of working his way up the ladder. I believe started almost as a volunteer on the Montreal staff, and for former players to step into that and understand that's what it takes, it says a lot about him. And, you know, one of the things he said to me during this process is he knew he wanted to be a football coach as much as he wanted to be a football player at the age of 5. He grew up in it, he breathed it, and he always thought of it when he was a player in a coaching mindset. I think we can all establish that Ryan's a very competitive person. And I think that's what you need as the leader of your organization. And make no mistake, the coach is the leader of the organization. And his competitive mindset, his will to win is just second to none that I see from anyone in the league. I talked about it at the end of the year. I think a very important part of bringing a new head coach in here is wanting to be here and wanting to be established in this community, not only as a head coach, but also a member of this community. Ryan's going to be here 365 days a year. He's going to be integrated not only in our football club, but the OSEG family, and that was very important to me. And then lastly, it's what I look for in myself and look for with working with people is just the willingness and wanting to grow your skill set every day. And I think Ryan talked about that through the process of why he wanted to get into personnel and have a general manager distinction and how he wanted to grow with that and what he's done beforehand, be it in Calgary and Toronto with that. And that's how I look at it, is as much as he's coming here, I'm going to learn so much from him and just the willingness to grow together and partner together in this. So just want to thank him for his belief. Excited to work together and turn it over to him.
Well, beyond ecstatic to be here. Great opportunity. It kind of happened here in a few days in a hurry, but it was the right decision. Very happy to be here. So first off, I want to thank OSEG. Roger Greenberg, got to sit down and meet him the other day. Ownership's very willing to do what it takes to win, and for them to support me coming here and doing it in a timely manner, that was very exciting for me. Obviously, John Ruddy, I look forward to meeting him as well, building a bond there. To have an opportunity to meet him in person, but look forward to doing that. Mark Gowdy, was a big part of this as well. Got to meet him in person a few days ago. Love his energy, love his vision. Very excited about that. Obviously, Adrian here, Sciarra. We met in league meetings a few years ago, and that's kind of when we built the bond. Over about a 20-minute workshop we were doing there, and so that's the great thing about this league. It's small, but you get to build bonds there. So I think that was helped this transition come about. And then obviously Burkey here, got a lot of respect from him. Met him in league meetings in similar situation. I know we share a similar vision. I'm going to learn a lot from him, especially on the personnel side. And he's been here, done that for a long time. So I'm going to lean on him. We're going to work hand in hand. But I appreciate his work ethic and the person that he is. I thought it was a no-brainer. We've been working together for the last 3 days, and we're locked up in a conference room, and I think we could have been there for about 4 days. It was just a great conversations that we had, and our visions align. And so I can't be more excited and appreciative of Burkey making this happen. Next thing is I can't wait to meet our players here, build bonds with them. I think we got a great culture here, but we got to obviously get better at that. So that's bringing in the right players. I'll set the expectations, but those guys have to have the standard of the locker room, and that's bringing in quality people. Obviously, we have to have a lot of talent, but you got to have the right people in the right mindset. The guys are doing the right things all the time and working for each other. It's a bond in that locker room. The honeymoon part's over now. We got to put our boots in the ground and go to work. We've already got a head start over that the last few days. But you're judged off wins and losses. I know we're hungry to get this thing turned around. Red Black Nation, they deserve that. Our fans, I can't wait to be in the nation's capital and get to do my job and look forward to the challenge. And first thing I got to start meeting some of these players, building bonds with them, getting to know about them, and letting them get to know about me. Like Burkey said, I'm gonna be here year round. This is gonna be home. Look forward to getting involved in the community. But, at the same time, it's most importantly, it's about winning football games, and that's where we're at. So we got a lot of work to do, but that's why we all sign up to be, professionals in this business. And I can't be more excited to get going and very appreciative of the opportunity here and, hopefully be here for a long time and build a consistent winner where, we're in the playoffs each year, fighting for a chance to win a Grey Cup. That's our expectations. That's going to be our standard moving forward, and that's going to be our process each day to get there. It doesn't happen overnight. Each day is important. Each meeting is important. Each walkthrough is important. All those things, we're not going to waste opportunities to get better. That's the key here. So, again, excited to be here, fired up, and it's been a great partnership here, and I'm happy to be part of the family. Just the opportunity to grow. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to lean on Burkey quite a bit. We're going to work hand in hand. Having the general manager title, having full control of the roster and be able to pick my players. I thought that was the right opportunity. And then obviously coming here and meeting the people here, I just thought it was a seamless transition. I thought it was going to be a great opportunity for me and my family. first and foremost, but I was excited to work with the people in this building, and quality people first and foremost. You got to have that in there, and so that was the first box that was checked off for me. But I thought it just felt comfortable for me coming in here.
I can answer it from my end. I think Adrian addressed it. Number one on the list. And how I've ever done things in this business is if you see something you want, you got to put all your effort into going and getting it. That's our free agent process. And I looked at this as a recruitment process. And making that decision also helps us get a head start on things. 2-3 weeks more of the off season, more of us spending time together, more of us building what we need to build. You don't want to lose that momentum. So that's why the last two days were crucial of us spending that time together, because when you have the ability to do that and see that your minds are wired the same way, you want the same things and all that, it answers all those questions. But it starts with, to get a guy at your top of the list and know it can work after that conversation, you don't need to wait any longer in my eyes.
Yeah, for me, patience isn't a virtue for me. So, the opportunity came about, and I just felt it was the right thing to do, and I wanted to get to work. And there's no reason waiting a few weeks to see what else is out there. I knew this was the place for me, and it's where I wanted to be. So it was a no-brainer, and now we got a head start on the off season.
I think first and foremost, it's seamless when there's no egos involved and your goal is the same, which is to win championships and work with that daily. Secondly, it's not very different for me. I've come up, obviously you guys know my background in the Hamilton organization of this worked very well there for me. And lastly, when you want the same things, it's going to work out. So decision-making, Ryan has full roster control. I fully support that. I was the one pushing for this opportunity to get the best candidate. At the end of the day, like I said, as a leader of the football ops department and the organization, we ask our players to be selfless daily. How can you ask that of them if you're not that in that regards? In terms of free agency draft, it's going to be our decision together. We're working hand in hand. We're putting our boots to the ground, and we'll make the best decisions together for the organization.
Yeah, for me, same things. Collectively, we'll do it together. I told Berkey, I feel pretty confident I'll stand for what I believe in, as will he. But like you said, no egos. We're going to do what's best for the football club, and we'll do that collectively. And I have a lot to lean on Shawn about. He's been doing this for a long, long time. So obviously, this is brand new for me being the general manager, first day on the job. But we're going to work together. Like we said, no egos. We're going to do what's best for the football club, and I look forward to doing that with Shawn, and a lot of trust there, and that's how it's going to work out. Yeah, so there's hurdles as far as guys that were with me in Toronto that are still under contract. There's some things we got to go through there. I got a list of the coaches that I'm definitely interested in bringing on here. Me and Burke have had those discussions over the last few days. So reached out to the coaching staff that was here last year yesterday. Just build a relationship there. Got to meet those folks and kind of see where we're at there. So that door's kind of open. We're going to get the best fits for the organization, obviously, that guys that can work together, like we said, selfless. We need some selfless coaches that are going to, take care of the players first, but we got to be able to, check our egos at the door and do what's best for the football club. And, when you have no egos in the building, that's pretty easy. So we got to make sure that's the type of person that we're looking for to add to our staff. Yeah, it was a tough season. We had a lot of injuries, a lot of new players. We lost a lot from the year before from the Grey Cup team. I thought we had some games, probably 4 or 5 games where the game could have went either way. The one thing I'll say is about our team, we never quit. There's a lot of fight there. They stuck together, so that the culture in that locker room was there. We just didn't make the right plays, and we had evaluated that stuff as a coaching staff, what we could have done better as well. So obviously there was a lot of holes potentially in the roster, but there's some things we could have done differently as far as game management, some play calls, and we had some things didn't go our way. A lot to learn from that. Obviously, a humbling experience. Only winning 5 football games, but yeah, a lot to learn from. Yeah, so I had one more year on my deal, but obviously, becoming a head coach and general manager, that was an upgrade, and so that was what allowed me to get out of my contract. But got the phone call Monday from my agent, said that we've got granted permission. I went and bought this suit in about 15 minutes, and I knew this is the job I wanted. So jumped on the plane with my agent, and came in here and just. Got a chance for me and Burke just kind of, see our personalities, how they mesh. We felt very comfortable there, and this was the place I wanted to be. So it happened fairly quickly. There's a lot of urgency there, but when both parties are aligned and seeing the same vision, it was a no-brainer. Yeah, well, I think Drew. We got to keep him healthy. I think him not being healthy the full season, that affected the win-loss column. So I obviously got to build a relationship with him, get to know him more. I'll be reaching out to him when we're done. Kind of start that transition as far as player-coach relationships. So I thought he played well, done some really good things in this league. So. I don't know what they asked them to do, schematically, what they, teaching coverages, how they approaching their reads. So, look forward to, building that with him and trying to make it as advantageous for him to, be successful at the quarterback position.
You asked 2 questions there, so you did a follow-up on a follow-up on a follow-up. Yeah. What was the first part that they get answered?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that, like I said, the quarterback health had a lot to do with the win-loss column, like I said. But, I thought defensively they gave us some fits when we played them. I thought their front seven's good, and their back end was really good early on the season, creating turnovers. So, I looked at, some of the things on the roster. That wasn't a big decision influence as far as, coming here. Obviously you got to build your roster over each year. We have some work to do there, but there's quality players in this locker room, quality people as well. So obviously we got to turn it over a bit, but I feel like there's a lot of pieces in this room already.
If I could just ask one more question, and it's sort of like going back to a previous question about there's no egos and you're working together. At the end of the day, I think everybody has a boss or some sort of form of command that somebody has the final say. I'm just a little confused how this works. I don't know that I sort of I don't exactly understand the role of who has the final say.
Ryan has the final say on the roster. So.
On the game day roster.
On the roster.
So if he wants somebody and you maybe aren't so keen on this person,
He's gonna. It's not about winning. It's about getting better.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean, though. His decision.
I've answered it twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just trying to.
Yeah, I'll be the offense coordinator. Obviously, that's one of my strengths. Probably one of the reasons why they brought me in here. With my, I guess, the toolage of the quarterback. I've had quite a bit of different quarterbacks over the last 5 years in Toronto. So, you got to put them in an opportunity to be successful. It's not about what I know and the plays that I design. It's about designing the right plays, for our receivers, our running backs, protection schemes for the quarterback. We got to make sure we keep them upright, and you got to obviously teach them defense as well. Them understanding the defense is going to take them to their progressions and understand how to attack coverage. So, got to get that going right now, and I look forward to doing that with Drew. Yeah, I think, a lot of folks don't know how much of the general manager stuff I was doing in Toronto. I didn't have that title there, but I was doing a lot of those things that was asked of the general manager. So I feel like I've got a lot of experience, in my time in Toronto to be ready for this position. Obviously, it's a healthy balance. I gotta, find that. I feel pretty good. Like I'll say, Pinner used to say, sweet spot. I gotta find that nice sweet spot as far as my workload. But I have a plan for that, and look forward to, doing that here in Ottawa. Yeah, we're obviously been going through that the last few days. A lot of talent in the building. There's some areas we probably want to improve at, but that's going to be over the next little bit. Obviously we got till February till free agency hits, so that was the urgency of getting here now and get started. Yeah, I don't think it will change. I always tell those guys, honesty is the best policy. I always tell my players, my door is always open. They can come by just to chat life. They have any questions that they need as far as clarity on their role. Everybody's going to have a role and have to accept that role. That's just part of this business. But yeah, like I said, open door policy. I'll build those relationships with the players, and honesty is the best way. Those guys know that you're authentic. That they can trust you to do the right things, and really appreciate them. I've been in their shoes. I've been a player before too, and that's all I would ask for from the top, is that I knew exactly what my role was, it's clearly defined, and what my expectations are. Yeah. Well, I guess that's both. So yeah. So excited to have both hats here, but yeah, I can't wait to build bonds with the players that are here now, and so I haven't had too much of an opportunity to do that the last few days, and once we get done with that here today, I'm looking forward to meeting these players and building those bonds.